Maynard's legacy in that regard?
Well, I think that I understood Maynard's legacy when he pushed me to run through the board. I ran across a book, Cities and the Wealth of Nations, by James Jacobs. And by and large, it said that nations don't create economies, states don't, that cities, it's the problems of cities that create the new trends that change the world. And I think his legacy is that he saw Atlanta as a city that could change the world. And the reason he was anxious for me to run was he realized how fragile that was, and that, well, we actually had after Maynard, the business community that had worked very closely with the black community put together a $2 million kitty for anybody white.
Yeah.
And I actually had a very prominent businessman say to me after I decided to run, you were a good congressman, and I was proud of you. I didn't agree with you at the UN, but you know, I understand you didn't get in any trouble that we weren't proud of. And he said, you would probably make us a good mayor. I just wish you were white.
He said it.
Mm-hmm. Now, that was the mood of the city. And it wasn't, let me say, it wasn't racist. They were panicked because they saw Gary, Newark, Cleveland, Detroit not attracting any investment. And they attributed that to the fact that they had black mayors. And they were afraid that investment was going to freeze up if they had another black mayor. And so I think that Maynard saw me as the person that could secure this legacy that he had fought so hard to establish. And I am really grateful that I was the second black mayor and not the first. I didn't have to fight over the police.
Right.
See, because we had 2 black PhDs running our police force. I didn't have to fight about affirmative action. What I had to do was help people understand it. See? And it was simple when you could get them to sit down, and after I was mayor, and I'd say, you know, if we hadn't built this airport this way, we wouldn't have been able to get these expressways. And they said, well, why is that? I said, well, you know, when I was in Congress, Bill Bray was chairman of the Budget Committee, and we had a good relationship, and I could pick up the phone and call him, and John Lewis had worked for Jim Howard's campaign, and he was the secretary. I explained to them the dynamics. We moved that airport, tore up an expressway to keep it in the South. And it was because we sat down with Bill Coleman, who was a Republican Secretary of Transportation, but who was a race man. And we sat down with him, and then we went to see Herman Talmadge. And it was Herman Talmadge and Bill Coleman, a very unlikely combination that tore up Highway 85, moved it, and built that airport and kept that airport in the South. I mean, that's a multi-billion-dollar decision. And it took a lot of, I mean, well, we built this region.
Absolutely.
And it has continued. Now, I don't know where we go from here, but I did, just like Maynard picked me, we all started pushing Shirley very early when she was chief administrative officer. I figured, I saw Kasim at Howard and he was concerned about poor people. And I saw some of the same things in him that I had seen in Maynard. His willingness to fight for what was right in a student body at Howard, which I had thought of as the most materialistic. It was the headquarters of the black bourgeoisie. And I saw this young man running for something of value in the midst of this party school. And I said, you ain't gonna never get elected here. And he did. So, and I said, you need to come on back to Atlanta and be mayor. Now, I think we've got something going here. We have a chance to expand it statewide. The most important race in America right now is Mike Thurman. If Mike Thurman can sneak into the United States Senate, Barack Obama will have one vote. All it takes in the Senate is one vote. He'll have more power than Obama. Obama can be you can override Obama with a 2/3 vote. But when one senator stands up against something, that can hold it up. So to have a senator that will stand with what we believe in is very, very important. And I just don't know how we can do it. But I think if Maynard were alive, he would see this election as maybe like the end of Reconstruction. If we lose, if they take the Senate and the House from Barack Obama, then they will push together an agenda that will repeal much of the health care bill and not fund it. We will find ourselves ending our Reconstruction not with the Klan in white robes, but with judges in black robes. I don't know what you think of Bill, but I still think Bill never should have gone to jail. And I think that there should not be the harassment of Beverly Hall that we see. And the guy who was educating black people, I don't even know his name, but I was impressed with what he was doing with the DeKalb County schools. And they're picking us off one by one on nonsense. And that's all being backed up by the court. Now, I'm on my platform here. Let me just say this since I got started. It's your program, sir. No. I don't know how many times Maynard got sued, but I got sued 3 times while I was mayor. And I lost every suit. But we won them in the Court of Appeals when they got to the federal judiciary. I don't think we win those suits now. The federal judiciary was appointed by Reagan and Bush, and they would not uphold the law as we understood it and understand it. And so we're in the midst. I think Maynard will see this as a kind of judgment day.
I'm going to ask one more question.